Okay, so what do you think?
It's going to be controversial.
Hey, Frugal Peeps, Joel and Christy here, and today we're going to be sharing 8 controversial opinions that we have about frugality. Now, as we always say, personal finance is personal, and so some of the things that we think are controversial, you may not think are controversial, but you might. We'll see. Let's get to them.
Our first one is being frugal doesn't mean that you can't ever spend money on anything or go anywhere. If you have it in your budget, it's okay to spend it.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 2, thrift stores aren't always a good deal. Now, you might find some good deals there. You might find some high quality things for a lower price, but odds are you're going to find lower quality things at the lower price. And if you've been to a thrift store lately, you know their prices are going up, just like everybody else's prices. So those deals may not be as good as you think they are.
Yeah. There's no hate on thrift stores here. We understand that their electricity bills have gone up. If they ship their stuff in from somewhere else, they have to pay for the diesel for their trucks and everything, and their wages for their employees have gone up and stuff like that. So part of the higher prices that you're seeing at thrift stores are coming from that. Also, they may be aware that people are flipping their items that they have and then selling them for a higher markup, and so maybe they think that they're just cutting out the middleman and that you'll just buy from them instead of going to a reseller.
Yep.
I don't know, but some of the stuff is priced now at a price where you could almost buy the brand new thing for the same price. So it pays to price compare and make sure that if you're buying from a thrift store, that it's a good quality item for a lower price and not a cheaply made item that is just barely cheaper than what you would have paid in the store. And we've said this before, that we've seen a lot of like Walmart time and true items and stuff like that. Those and maybe like Shein and stuff, those things are not expensive anyway. So buying them at a thrift store after they've already been used is not maybe your best what's the word? Option or investment is maybe not your best investment. So sometimes thrift stores may not be a great option. And piggybacking off of that, our next one is sometimes it's better to buy something brand new instead of buying it used. And we would say that is like sometimes like with furniture and also clothing. Sometimes if you can find a good sale deal then on a brand new thing, it may be cheaper than actually buying it from a thrift store or somewhere like a discount clother or an online thrift store or something. Just buying it brand new, you know it's not been worn yet by anybody else, it's not threadbare, the furniture may be better quality, or it just might be that there's nothing that you have to fix on it, because sometimes, not always, but sometimes when you buy something that's already like chipped up or broken or stained or something, by the time you have it fixed, you've spent as much as you would have if you'd have just bought it new. We sometimes buy things that are used, and we think that it's a good investment. We bought like end tables before, and our son and daughter-in-law took the end tables and put them together and made a table out of them, and used that coffee table for like probably 5 years of their marriage before they finally said, okay, now we're going to just get something different. And the reason why was because it was starting to break. Yeah. But overall, you have to look at it and say, is the amount of work that I'm going to have to do to this actually worth it, or would just buying it brand new be worth a better investment than buying something that you're going to have to do all that work to? Right. There are exceptions to this, and that is cars. You lose a lot of value on cars the minute you drive it off the lot. So sometimes a lightly used car is going to have a good warranty with it, and it's going to be, not a lot of mileage on it yet, and so it's going to be a better value to you because it's already lost that depreciation when it was driven off the lot. Yep. And so that's an exception to our opinion that sometimes new is better. And also another exception would be we have bought refurbed electronics before from Back Market. We can link a video where he showed a laptop that he got from Back Market, and it still works perfectly today. He still is working with that. It was a MacBook, and it's working great. But so refurbs may be an exception, and also cars would be an exception. But otherwise, we would say be careful about buying used over new. That's that right. You're not wasting money in the process of having to fix it.
That's right. Number 4 is generic isn't always the cheapest. And we've done videos on this before where we've shown going into the actual grocery stores and shown that the generic thing next to the brand name is not always the cheapest. And sometimes it's not always the best quality either. So sometimes you might want to splurge on that better deal for the brand name than it is to buy the generic brand.
Yeah. And to piggyback off that one, bulk items aren't always cheaper, and we've shown that before. That sometimes if you see the big package, it seems like it's almost always the best decision to buy bulk, but a lot of times bulk is not generic at the same time, and so it's a brand name. So sometimes those brand names of the bulk items is not cheaper than buying the generic version in the non-bulk. So it's one of those things where we say over and over again, you have to look at the unit cost, and not just trust the unit cost label on the shelf. Take your calculator out, figure out the best method for dividing it yourself, and see for yourself. But like, I'll be honest with you, anytime somebody tells me, oh, I'm really frugal, I always buy generic, or I'm really frugal because I buy all bulk items, I think, is it always? Because that's not always the best decision. So you have to do the math yourself to figure out if always is really true.
Number 6, you don't have to eat rice and beans and rice.
Not a fan.
No, we do eat rice and beans a lot. Not a lot, but we have,
But it's not like...
it's not like just beans and rice. We have meat mixed in with it, but if you've seen any of our grocery haul videos, we don't do that. And we search for the deals. We do our meal plans beforehand. We shop at home before we go and do our shopping to make sure we're not overbuying things. And we eat what we want to, and we have a very, very, very low grocery bill every month, just because we do shop deals and things.
I just can't with the beans and rice on every meal. I mean, like this month, on the health channel, I did a Fit for the Long Run, our health channel. I did a breakfast recipe that was like a breakfast burrito bowl that had black beans in it. I was bored with it after like 4 days. Just because I don't like beans enough to want to eat that every day. It's like, I'm more of a, like, maybe 2 times a week. I would prefer things like soups and stuff. I'm just not like a bean person. All right, 7 is buying a house isn't always a great financial decision.
Yep. Ruh-roh.
The reasons that a lot of people always say, you should be buying a house. That's an investment. It is not a good investment if you're not prepared financially to keep up with the maintenance on that house. And if the only houses in your area will basically make you house poor, and you can't afford to do anything else but sit there and pay your mortgage,
probably not the best deal.
No. And we can say our first house, we did not have any emergency fund built up before we bought the house. And between keeping up with all of those expenses that came with just the maintenance on the house, we had a sump pump go out. We had washer, the dryer, the refrigerator, just yard maintenance, different things like that happened in that short, like, 8-year period that we lived there. And every time we got our emergency fund built up, boom, the sump pump went out. And so now we're draining our emergency fund again because we weren't prepared for any kind of emergencies before we moved in.
That's right. Number 8, Aldi isn't always the cheapest. And that's the truth. I mean, if you've seen any of our videos, we always shop both. I've got the Walmart app open while we're in Aldi, making sure we're getting the best price. And it isn't always there. So make sure you're comparing prices, especially if you got different grocery stores near you. Then you can shop the prices between the two and make sure you're getting the best deal wherever you go.
That's right. The assumption that it's always cheaper is costing people money. When they say, I don't spend that much money because I only shop at Aldi and I always get the best price. Always is always a troubling word to use. Because you'll see this in stores. Like, their prices will go up, right? This store's price will go up, and then that store's price will go up. And so when this one goes up, then that one's cheaper. But then when this one goes up, this one might be cheaper. And the more it goes back and forth like that. So as those prices change, sometimes you can get better prices somewhere else by actually looking at the apps and making sure that you're getting the best deals. And just making that assumption is actually costing you money. Oh, and I'll give you a little bonus one too. Circular sales deals aren't always the cheapest deal. Just saying. So tell us in the comments below if you have any frugal opinions that you think are controversial. We'd love to hear those. That's going to do it today. We're Joel and Christy for Saving Money for the Long Run. Don't forget the long run. Give yourself a little grace. Bye.